Hey, everybody. So, we are going to start on Exodus 20, the 10 Commandments. So, here we go. We're going to have this one's going to probably be a longer one. Um, but yeah, here we go. So, chapter 20, verses 1 through. Oh, hold on. There we go. All right, chapter 20, verses 1 through 6. Now the Lord spoke all these words, saying, I am the Lord your God, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. You'll have no other gods before me. You won't make for yourself an idol or a likeness of anything in heaven above or in the earth beneath. So that could be underworld, or in the waters under the earth. You won't bow down to them or serve them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, recompensing the sins of the fathers on the children to the third and fourth generations of those who hate me, but showing mercy to thousands, to those who love me and keep my commandments. So, verses 1 through 2 starts off like a suzerain vassal treaty with, I have defeated your enemy Egypt and freed you from bondage. Verse 3 shows us no gods before me. And when you look at this in Hebrew, it literally says, literally no gods in my face or my presence. Does God have a face? How does he have a face? Well, this is the second power of heaven reference going on there. And it's also an idiom. It's a Hebrew idiom. Notice also, this is not saying that these gods, quote unquote, the nations worship aren't real. They do exist in the Old Testament. And the Old Testament writers do believe that they exist. And they're saying, do not worship them or serve them. So these are fallen angels and, in other words, demons that they're following. Verses 4 through 5. No idolatry. Don't worship them. Idols are unholy images, not iconography. It's not saying that you can't have visual representations or mental images of any kind. That would actually be absurd, and we will be discussing that as we go on, why idols and icons are totally different from one another. Anyways, verses 5 through 6, do not serve false gods. It uses the word jealous there. So is God really a jealous God? Is he jealous? Like, I'm jealous of you, I'm jealous of this? Well, that usage is metaphorical and used analogically all the time in the Old Testament and the New Testament also. So he gives Israel a contrast about justice, sins being recompensed all the way to the third and fourth generation of those who hate me, and then mercy shows the thousands. And to clarify this, God will have mercy on anyone who repents in the Old Testament. Even those in the second, third, and fourth generation of that sinner can be saved too. So there you go. Chapter 20, verses 7 through 17. You will not take the name of the Lord your God in vain, for the Lord won't hold him guiltless who takes his name in vain. Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days you'll labor and do all your work, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God. In it you'll do no work, neither you nor your son, your daughter, your male or female slave, your cattle, nor your stranger who sojourns with you. In 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and everything in them, and rested on the seventh day. Therefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Or hallowed it. Some people say it that way. Honor your father and mother, that it may be well with you, and your days may be long upon the good land that the Lord your God is giving you. Don't murder, don't commit adultery, don't steal, don't bear false witness against your neighbor. Don't covet your neighbor's wife or his house, don't covet his field, nor his male or female slave, his ox, his donkey, any of his cattle, or whatever belongs to your neighbor. So, in the Orthodox Study Bible, the one I'm using, it says servant, and I think that's kind of a cop out. It should say slave. Because that is what it is in the Hebrew. And I'm going to talk about that eventually when we get to chapter 21. And I think in 22 also. But we'll get into that later. But it does say slave. So taking the Lord's name in vain is not about saying, quote, God damn it, end quote, or a bad word. It is about intention. Don't profane Yahweh in his name. You're supposed to try your best to represent him. Bring honor to Yahweh's name. That's what it's saying there. So, yeah. It's not about saying, God damn it. Just part of my French there. But you can try to not say that also, but I'm just saying, like, that's not what it's actually about. So, anyways, verses 8 through 11 says to keep the Sabbath, rest and keep it holy, no work. The seventh day is holy. There won't just be Sabbath days either. The Torah later is going to give us Sabbath years later, where everyone is ordered to rest and not work, not a single one, period. This requires a great deal of trust for Israel because in this era, this is the Bronze Age collapse era, there's no guarantee that their labor will be rewarded. This break also helps them understand God is with them and will take care of them. Verses 12, honor your father and mother. This isn't to do or obey them no matter what. It is to live in a way that honors your family name or makes them believe you come from a great family. Verse 13, do not murder. Taking human life is always bad at any stage of life and in any circumstance. There is always a penance for it too in Torah, even when God commands, for example, which we will get into, the giant clans to be wiped out. God requires those who've slain people to be unclean for a time and cleanse themselves. So even when one has to stop someone from evil, it's still always wrong. So, verse 14, do not commit adultery. It says, do not commit sexual sins against women with a husband or anyone, not your wife. And in the reality of the Bronze Age collapse, this is directed to men especially because women mostly got zero say and did not get choices about who they married or had sex with. So usually you were often married off at age 12 or 13 and the man could do whatever he desired whenever he desired and not consensually either. So men held all the power. So God here sets a law to protect women from men here. Women can also sexually sin too, but this command is in the Bronze Age period and it limits male sexuality. So obviously things have greatly changed since then, and Christianity really has advanced the concept of consent, which is absolutely wonderful. So thank you, Jesus, the apostles, and Saint Thecla especially, because Saint Thecla was martyred for choosing to say no to a man who wanted to only use her for sex. So there you go. Christianity really advanced the concept of consent. So there you go. Verses 15, do not steal. The concept of personal property did exist. The concept of private property, though, did not exist in the ancient world. And in Deuteronomy, we'll get into that, but it will specify if one has more food than they need and you need some, take enough, and it's not considered theft. So, just for a little reference here, Jean Valjean did nothing wrong on Les Mis or Iblis, according to Torah, because he was stealing a loaf of bread to feed his family. So if you know that reference, good on you. So, verse 16, do not bear false witness against your neighbor. Do not testify falsely against someone in a dispute. Don't ruin someone's reputation falsely. So, if a Nazi comes to your door for the Jews, you can lie because it's not about lying here. It's not about lying here. So verses 17, do not covet your neighbor's wife, his house, his field, his male or female slaves, ox, donkey, cattle, anything that is his. So to do this, you almost have to do it premeditatively, and most of the time you have to do it premeditatively. So what it's saying is try not to even entertain the mere thought. All right. So verses 18 through 21. Now all the people witnessed the thundering, the lightning flashes, the trumpet, the mountain smoking. And when the people saw this, they trembled and stood afar off. And then they said to Moses, you speak with us and we'll hear, but let not God speak with us, lest we die. And Moses said to the people, be of good courage, for God's coming to test you, that his fear may be among you, so you won't sin. So the people stood afar off, but Moses drew near the thick darkness where God was. So the entirety of Israel is scared of being near God's mountain. They can see and hear all of it. Experiencing God's presence is terrifying. And it's not that God is mean here. It's that they've become aware of their sinful state. So therefore, they ask Moses to not even to hear God because they're scared that if they do, they'll die. They want him instead to mediate for them. So Moses tries to calm them down and tells them to be courageous because God has come to refine you, that his fear may be among you so you won't sin. So Moses is saying to them to remember this feeling when they think about sinning, because it might help them not to sin. The people therefore stay far away while Moses draws close to the thick darkness where God dwells. So, verse 22 through 26, building an altar. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Thus you'll say to the house of Jacob and report it to the children of Israel. You've seen I talked with you from heaven. You won't make for yourselves gods of silver and gods of gold. An altar of earth you'll make for me, and you'll sacrifice on it your whole burnt offerings, your peace offerings, your sheep, and your calves. In every place where I record my name, I'll come and bless you. If you make me an altar of stone, you won't build it of hewn stone, for if you use your tool on it, you defile it. Nor will you go up by steps to my altar, that your nakedness may not be exposed on it." So the Lord tells Moses to tell Israel, "Make an altar dedicated to me. Don't make idols. An altar of earth, this is a holy image, iconography, not an idol, obviously." So God gives details for an altar. Make it from natural rocks and don't use tools. So stack good rocks and use the altar to offer sacrifices. So the idea here is that God's giving them all that they need and that they don't need to use their own efforts. So they don't get to boast or perform here over his altar. His presence will be at the altar where he appeared to Israel. And verse 26, when it says nakedness may not be exposed on it, it's actually giving a little bit of a pun into Hebrew, and that stays present as well when translated into the Greek. So, anyways, now after this, we will get to chapter 21, and we'll do that next time. So, hope you enjoyed the podcast, and if you like this, hit like and subscribe. We will get to Exodus 21 on next time. So thank you for watching, and God bless you.